Okay, guys, this is your Chapter 11 review. The most important things you can do today are to make sure that you study all your integer rules, adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing. It's going to be so incredibly important that you know all those rules. On your test, make sure you're not guessing on anything. Okay, if you're not sure how to add integers, look it up on your notes. Okay, make sure that you're using your resources. All right, so we're going to go through these problems. I encourage you to pause it, try to answer them on your own first, and then press play to see if you did them correctly. Okay, so we are adding integers today. Okay, so we're starting off with adding. -4 plus -6. Okay, what I want you to remember is that when we did our little chips, we would put all these little -4 chips out, and then our -6 chips out, and we're adding them together. Okay, was there any cancellation when I had all negative chips? No. Positive and negative have to cancel each other out. If I have all negative, I'm done. So I'm going to count up, and I have 10, and there are -10 chips. I also know that 4 plus 6 is 10, and since they're all negative, your answer will be negative as well. Okay, so use this as a resource. You can always go back to drawing the chips and canceling them out for adding. 7 plus -2, well, I have opposite signs. I know that there's going to be more positive chips than negative, and that 2 positive would cancel out with the 2 negative. So 7 minus 2 is 5. The answer will be positive 5. Okay, here I have -5 chips and I have positive 5 chips. There's going to be a total cancellation. These are opposites. When I add opposites, your answer is 0. Okay, for these subtraction problems, you are adding the opposite. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite each problem as an addition problem. So -2 stays the same. Subtraction becomes addition. The opposite of -4 is positive 4. And then from here on out, I'm using my adding integer rules. -2 plus 4 is 2 because 4 minus 9, I have 7 plus -9. I'm adding the opposite once again. Opposite signs, so I'm going to subtract. 9 minus 7 is 2. And the 9 is furthest from 0 here, so it's going to be a -2. Then I have -6 plus -3. All are negative chips again, so I have negative signs. Make sure after you rewrite them as addition problems, you don't look back at these again. Okay, because the rule as far as adding, subtracting, taking the number furthest from 0 applies to your rewritten problem. So -6 plus -3. 6 plus 3 is 9. Since they're both negative, the answer is negative. Now we move on to multiplying. So remember, multiplication and division have the same rules. Positive times a positive, whereas a positive divided by a positive would be positive. Negative times a negative, or negative divided by a negative, is positive. So same signs on the two numbers, it's going to be positive. If I have opposite signs, like a negative times a positive, or a positive times a negative, it is negative. And then from there, it's normal multiplication or division. So I have -5 times 2. 5 times 2 is 10. Since my signs are opposite, answer is -10. Negative times a negative, my answer will be positive. 6 times 4 is 24. So the answer is positive 24. For division, like I said, same rules as multiplication. So 25 divided by 5 is 5. Since I have opposite signs, it's -5. -24 divided by -8. 24 divided by 8 is 3. Negative divided by negative is positive. And I'm done. Okay, as far as graphing on a coordinate plane, okay, remember that your coordinates go x, then y, and on your coordinate plane it goes x, y. So I'm going to, for point A, start at the origin always and go over -2. So I'm going to go on the x, because x comes first. On the x-axis, I'm going to count over 1, 2 in the negative direction. Then it's a positive 3. The 3 represents your y coordinate. Y goes up and down. So to go positive 3, I go up, 1, 2, 3. This is point A. It also asks what quadrant point A is in. Remember the quadrants go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so point A is in quadrant 2. Okay, I want you to pause. I want you to try to do B and C by yourself. Press play when you're done and check your answer. So once again, starting at the origin for point B, I'm going to go over -4 on the x-axis, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then it's -1 on the y, which means I'm going up or down. Since it's negative, I go down 1, and that is point B. Point B lies in the third quadrant. For point C, I start at the origin. Since my x is 0, I do not go right or left. I stay at the origin. And then my y is 2. Since it's positive, I go up 1, 2. It stays right on the y-axis. That's point C. Now remember, any point on the y or x-axis has no quadrant. So you can write no quadrant or tell me what axis it's on. And this is on the y-axis. Okay, so make sure you can plot points and you can also find points. Like for example, get my pen to work here. This is point D, we'll say, and we want to name that point. So starting at the origin, I'm going to go over to the right. Since I go to the right, that means my x is positive, and it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So my coordinate is 6, comma, and then from this point I go up 1, which is also positive, so my y is 1. Okay, so make sure you can plot points as well. Okay, next we're going to translate the image 3 units to the left and 2 units up. Then we're going to write the new coordinates. You're going to tell me what your new point is. Okay, so it doesn't matter which one you start with. With each point, you're going to go 3 to the left. So I'm going to count over 1, 2, and 3, and then go 2 up, 1 and 2. Okay, so that's my new coordinate. I'll call this A. This can be A prime. That ordered pair is -1, 4. So that's my new A prime. Okay, I'm going to take this, we'll call this B. Next, and I'm going to move it 3 to the left. 1, 2, and 3, and up 2. 1, 2. This is my B prime. And B prime's ordered pair is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. It's 0, 6. Now we'll do our last point. We'll call it C. 3 units to the left, 1, 2, and 3, and up 2. 1, 2, and this is C prime. C prime's ordered pair, start at the origin, count over 1 and 2, so positive 2, and then up 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, we're going to connect our dots, and the reason we connect our dots is to make sure that our our translation actually looks like a translation. So the triangle's in the same position, which it is. It's the same size, and all I've done is just move it to a different spot. Okay, so it looks like correct translation. I always encourage you, after you do it, just to count real quick again. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Make sure you're going the right direction. I went to the left and up, just to make sure you weren't supposed to go, for example, left and down. Okay, reread those problems. And our last one is a reflection over the y-axis. You're going to pay extra close attention to what you're reflecting it over. I'm reflecting it over the y-axis. Remember, this is x and this is y. When you reflect over the y-axis, you want each point to be an equal distance from the y. Okay, so I'm going to thin this out real quick. Looking at this original point. Okay, and we'll call this A, B, and C again. So here's my y-axis. This is going to be where I'm reflecting over. This is my mirror. A is 1 away from the y on the right side. So I'm going to move it 1 away on the left side. So this is A prime. For C, I am 1 away, but this time I'm on the left side, so I'm going to move it 1 away to the right side. This is C prime. B, this is 1 away on the right side, so I'm going to move it to 1 away on the left side. This is B prime. Okay, so when I reflect over the y, it should be in the same, using the same y, the same position as the y. So I can draw a straight line from B to B prime, from C to C prime, from A to A prime. Okay? The shape should look the same size. It should just look flipped over. And make sure it's flipping over the y. Remember, the y is what I wanted it to flip over. So this is my mirror here. It should be flipping over the y. If I were to flip it over the x-axis, then I would take each point and I would make it equidistant from the x-axis. So that's why it's important to understand which one you are actually reflecting it over. Okay? Just like in a translation, the shape should remain the same, just in this case, flipped position. Okay? All right, if you have any questions, make sure you ask. Tomorrow we'll do a review in class to help you out as well. And we'll go from there. Thanks as always for watching.